Hello everybody, welcome to Indigo Tarot Odyssey. How is everybody? We're going to have a fun, beautifully gold-drenched reading with the Priestess of Light. Oftentimes when I use this, people ask me after what deck it is because the artwork is so great. I love this. So today, you guys, we're going to find out what messages from our guides and source will help us on this path to feeling light, bright, energized, decisive, and find our opportunities to branch out and accelerate in these new directions that are helpful for us, because I know it's difficult breaking patterns, getting out of our comfort zone, and really gaining access to new avenues of thought, creativity, all of that. So let's see what our choices are. Number one is Healing Earth, the power to give and receive healing. It's one of the reasons I put my rose quartz necklace with the Eye of Thoth out, is because I feel like rose quartz, it's such a great love stone. I'm constantly wearing this or have it close by. It initiates self-love. It's very calming, it's very soothing, and I feel like it's very healing. And we can recognize this within ourselves. When we are calm and loving and present with people, we absolutely have the gift of healing. Shamanic journey, purpose, attunement, and vision quest. And number three, calming the waters, peaceful self-regulation. Hallelujah, right? We all need that to recognize that when we are going and oscillating too quickly, too fast, too much decision making, approaching burnout, doing things that just aren't necessary because our ego is driving us or other people or boundaries aren't in place, that we have access to self-regulate and say no and soothe and calm down and be restful, and have those gorgeous fresh lemony mango smoothie, cotton candy, buttercream days where we're just relaxing. And this is like the key word to number three, where we savor everything. We are savoring our food, the time with people we love, the creative endeavors we are undergoing, whatever it is, right? Smoothing, soothing, and creating. I love that energy. So I'm going to let you guys make your choice, and feel free to watch more than one as well. So I'm going to have a sip of coffee while you guys decide. So number one, I'm seeing if there's numbers. Yeah. Number one also has the number 46 on it. Number two has the number 23, and number three has the number 3. That's one of my particular favorites. I love that saying too, just calming the waters, because we don't need to always be turbulent, right? We can be some chill people here. All right, now I have my beautiful Thelema deck out here, which I haven't used in a while. I like this so much. I just wanted, before I begin, to let you guys know, I posted this on our IG, and it's so important for a daily reminder that our worth is not defined by the size of our clothes, how many social media followers we have, how much we earn. It isn't defined by how highly educated we are, how sociable, or whether or not we're in a relationship. Those of us who earn below the national average or feel as though we don't contribute much are not worthy any less than those appear on the rich list, or millionaires or billionaires, or those who spend every spare hour they have volunteering. Our worth is not defined by what we look like, the things we possess, or how much we feel we're able to offer the world. We are worthy just as we are. And absolutely, it's hard to believe all the time, right? Especially you go on social media and you see these glossy, crazy, amazing things, but we are just as worthy as anybody that you see and out there doing anything that they are, right? We all have, peaks and valleys, and we have much more peaks coming. So I want you guys to know that. So let's go in, and we're going to see what is going on with the Healing Earth. And I'm just going to split the deck in half and go straight from the top. 9 of Wands, Knight of Pentacles. Okay, beautiful. So we're moving into this to this. So 9 of Wands is us really taking a look and assessing things and saying we don't want to get to the burdensome 10 of Wands. We don't need to carry other people's problems, right? But we can, with this, when we feel grounded, solid, we're honest and authentic with ourselves and others, we can absolutely achieve beautiful connections, receive healing. You ever just have a great conversation with somebody and you laugh and you're talking about shows and you're silly and you don't have to be performative and you're just having a good time in the conversation, right? Or watching a show with somebody. You don't feel like you have to be anything. You just are. You feel, worthy on every level. That's when we receive healing from our good friends, our family, all of that. Another thing that can provide that is just a beautiful word of support, right? Be still, draw inward. Your higher self will constantly be there for you. It is stable, it's peaceful, it's adventurous, it's fulfilled. It can share fun stories and inspire other people. It can inspire you. If you watch somebody, instead of being envious of what they've achieved or how they've achieved it or who they're with, know that your time is coming and you can also achieve that. Be inspired by it. Be inspired by the desire to also receive that, and set your cap in that direction, right? Cultivate space and clarity and centeredness and move towards that. But a lot of people just, it's funny because I've been talking about this and I'm obsessed with it now, which is basically the Goldilocks principle, that we always think something will be too hot, too cold, too hard, too soft, and it limits our limitlessness because we think there will be issues. We don't want to go to that party because we think, everybody will be dressed in so much more finery or stylish, or they'll have great conversation. We won't fit in. Whatever it is, we always put ourselves in this scenario where there's a lack, instead of why not? It's going to be just right. It's going to be an adventure. And that's how I try to position myself. Everything can be an adventure. And usually I find out that there is somebody at an event or someplace that feels insecure or feels unhappy, and I can provide healing, just listening, present moment awareness, being there for that person. But again, not putting some heavy onus on ourselves to be cause celeb or the light of the party or any of that. We can just exist there. Same thing in any environment. That's kind of the spotlight theory, where we think there's this big spotlight, everybody is watching and analyzing us. People are much more busy with themselves and their attention on them or their phobias or anxieties to be paying very little heed to us. So just, be yourself and get out there with this. Feel solid and grounded and safe where you are. When you were a kid, you really, really wanted to become an adult so you could do whatever you wanted to do, right? Then when we become this adult, we give up that big part of, I want to just reach out and say hello to everybody and find out about their lives and participate and try, right? It's like, when you think of like high school dances that you see in movies with boys on one side, girls on the other, nobody's doing anything. Like, be that adventurous soul, be that person that goes out on the dance floor and starts the dance, all of that. You're going to be standing strong on your own 2 feet, owning everything life has brought your way, and maintain a really beautiful, rich heart so you can help other people. I love Knights because they're pure of spirit and mind, and they look for things that help, glean that information for themselves and for others. And the amount of good feeling you'll get from these experiences and you can store up is unlimited. I just remember of little things, little encounters with puppies in the park, the fact like if butterflies come and land on my lawn chair. The little simple things really do matter. And that's also part of the healing earth. When we have these gorgeous, dragonflies or crows or whatever show up, they alleviate this stress of planning and carrying the weight of the world. We're not meant to always trying to be problem solving and figuring things out. We're supposed to be journeying and feeling good and secure and connecting with others. So just say out loud, things. I'll laugh out loud. And one of the things that I do too is I will get like a big color palette, and I'll just say the colors out loud because I get excited about colors for creating and designing jewelry, for painting, for all of that. Whatever just, that child in you loves, running your toes through the sand, a bubble bath, whatever it is, make sure that you do those things for yourself because it's really important. That's you, group one. Beautiful, beautiful energy. And if you guys are curious, over on Sparkrist11 on IG, I'm running a couple spread specials, one on mental health healing, one on our spiritual journey, and another soulmate spread. And they're only $25. They end up being anywhere between 20 and 30-minute private videos. If you want to come check them out, I love doing these because sometimes I just feel like, if we have that kind of like mental map of, oh yeah, all the kind of questions fall into play and work like a domino effect onto the next. So remember, you guys, you do have the power to give and receive healing. You can do that right now for yourself. Say something lovely to yourself. Picture something that you're going to get for yourself or that you want to receive that'll make you happy. It could be a new sweater. It could be a walk in a forest, whatever it is. I sometimes, when I want to be cheered, I remember and recall when I went and adopted Winter from from the cat place, and she jumped up and did this little like twirl and flip in her cage, and just how happy and giddy me and Jeannie and Hagen were just at the sight of that. It was very healing and very uplifting. So let's talk about number 2, you guys, shamanic journey: purpose, attunement, and vision quest. A lot of people do struggle with this, and I hear them say, I don't know if this is my purpose. Our purpose is to go from purpose to purpose, right? We don't just wake up, oh, I'm going to be a brain surgeon and go in one direct line. Very rarely does that happen. We want to taste other little morsels out there in the world. We meet people and we're in places and we have things that sometimes bring us off on different paths. And it can be a whole myriad of things. Sometimes you can want to work in a cafe. Sometimes you can, want to work abroad, whatever it is, our journey. But most people's journey is a journey of discovery, right? And I feel that's what a vision quest is. Finding out what we really want to do in our life. What do we want to plant in our garden? And remember, if it doesn't add fulfillment, it's just noise or a distraction. You're really on the cusp of achieving and manifesting many things that you've envisioned for yourself. And in these moments, really center on what's important to you. That's all you need to know, what's important. Do you want to initiate change in the world? Do you want to initiate change in your neighborhood? Do you want to travel and see the world? One quick sip of coffee because I'm getting a little dehydrated. What is it that keeps popping up in your head? And let's ask ourselves about that. 9 of Cups, fulfilling. 10 of Swords. This is really good and very telling, because let's look at this for a moment. You, at this point, in order to proceed, it's like just drop that busy analytical mindset where you're analyzing everything and you feel like you get a defeatist kind of energy because you feel like all you're doing is going in a circle and problem solving and worrying. This is the worrying card. And the great news is on your vision quest, you're going to be able to put that to death and to bed and come out the other side and be like, what do I want to fill these cups in? What do I want to do? Mind, body, spirit. What's going to make me feel fulfilled, happy, motivated, and look forward to tomorrow and next week? What am I building? What's going to be my tiny little fun mushroom empire? Like really good friends, travel. What is it? But firstly, we have to come to certain realizations of ourselves. We always are looking for something to fulfill us in some kind of way, right? Like I praise my guides and every deity out there every day for the fact that I have so many creative interests. I'm never bored. In fact, I get mad that there are only so many hours in the day, the majority of the time, because I wanted to make more readings, design more cards, design more jewelry, paint more, do whatever. And I really do. I want to have more hours in the day. But there were times in my life where I remember I just couldn't wait for the sun to go down. It just seemed endless. If I was working in a job I didn't like, whatever it was, that's part of our journey. We undergo experiences that we recognize, this is not for me. I don't want to be in this corporate setting. I don't want to be in this relationship or whatever. We'll feel it. You will feel it. And when it does, if it doesn't fill up those cups, you have given them much more than they deserve throughout the years. Now you're going to train your focus on what you want to achieve and manifest and move towards that. And with that, you're no longer going to be pulled this way and that way, and you're not going to facilitate space for people, places, and things. Only the path that you want to be on, and you'll recognize it. Because once we ask for this, we ask our guides, we'll get a sense of a feeling, right? We will feel the energy. Oh no, this energy is much too cloying, clinging, bossy, whatever, aggressive, whatever it is. You will recognize it and you'll say goodbye, because it will create this. The energy that doesn't work for us always makes us overthink, overanalyze, and gets us in a place where we feel cornered. And instead we want this we want to be riding free on this horse on the shamanic journey where we're not repressed. We are not told who we are, where we're going, or what we're doing, right? And a lot of people, we think, oh, well, it's, it's a parent or it's a friend, but are we being provided with this? We really are the only people that can provide us with this, with the 9 and 10 of Cups, that fulfillment, because once we feel happy in who we are and the direction we're moving, everything else is just beautiful frosting on the cake and sprinkles and cherry on tops and candles and all the extra things, that make it beautiful. Those great relationships, those, wonderful places we see. You've seen people do this, and this blew my mind. I saw this video once of a bunch of people in a boat in Venice, and they were all looking at their phones, and I thought, holy hell, they are in my dream place, and they are looking at their phones. They weren't even looking at the canals. They weren't looking at the structures, and I thought, oh my God, how can that even be? You know what I mean? But our idea of heaven and paradise differs greatly from a lot of other people. So that's the energy that we want to focus on. Who are our kindred spirits? Who are the people that will make us feel good and lifted and happy? And you're going to find those. So I feel like a lot of you guys, because you're not going to settle for anything less, you're not going to settle for the murky, you want the crystal clear, simplified version of your journey, you're really going to make an effort to move towards that. Getting rid of all the background noise, because you don't need it. And you don't underestimate yourself. You will get there. You know, there have been times in my life where I just thought so much was so futile because I was looking for the outside world for validation, or I made myself think in a limited capacity, and that will happen. So just think of limitlessness, think of no bounds. You can have whatever you want, be whatever you want, whenever you want, and practice. Take little steps towards that, and then you'll feel that it's freeing. So much of what other people are doing is and saying is completely about them and has nothing to do with you. So don't take anything personally. It'll help clear the way for you for sure. So Gorgeous Energy Group 2, if you're new to my channel, welcome. Don't forget to press like and subscribe, and feel free to watch all three. You know, if you garner a little bit of stuff that kind of resonates with you, all the more helpful, right? And over on IG on Spark with Still Living, I'm running some spread specials. Come and check them out. I thought they were really timely. I love this time of year. I feel like it's where a lot of people initiate change. They want to go into this beautiful celebratory season with simple, fluent flow state kind of actions. They don't want to do too much, be impulsive, or overwhelm themselves, right? It's about simple things that we love. And that now we're coming to my favorite, calming of the waters. And comment down below if you chose this. I just love this. Peaceful self-regulation. And I'd really not heard this term when I was younger, like self-regulation. And it really is a wonderful and awesome process that we can rescue ourselves from those 10 of Swords moments, that overthinking, that scary anticipation, those things where we have avoidant tendencies, where we have unhealthy attachments, where things become problematic because we are reactive, right? This is saying, who cares what anybody else is doing? Everything is happening around me, not to me. I can choose to involve or opt out. I do not need to get flustered or feel a certain way because others are. Yeah, see, lack mentality, conflict, getting away from that. This is what we're avoiding, moving towards things that help us, and pausing. Doesn't get much more well defined than this, because when things are turbulent, we are usually thinking we're not going to have what we need. We have lack mentality. We think other people will oppose us, our dreams, in the direction we want to go. Then we take matters into our own hand. We have a pause and we have a brief assessment, say, nobody really is in charge of us, or not in charge of the direction we want to go. Our feelings our feelings and mood will start with a thought. Are we going to attach anything to that thought? Are we going to give it validity? Are we going to jump on that tragedy horse and ride it off the cliff? No, thank you. I want to pause, get off, and walk in the opposite direction, where we actually rescue ourselves. Again, things aren't too hot, too cold, too hard, too soft. They're not too much of anything. Goldilocks can go take a nap here. We are going to do whatever is required so we feel in a good mind state. For me, lots of times that's going right out my back door and being in my fresh air, hearing the crows, seeing the turkeys, seeing the animals, and just breathing fresh air and listening to the wind. Drop everything. I drop all my cares. And I say to myself, I'm presently aware of everything around me. Use your 5 senses. They do this for a lot of people that have anxious or PTSD. They tell me, see and name 5 things in the room. And I like to incorporate all 5 of my senses. How do I feel? What am I smelling? What am I seeing? What am I hearing? What am I tasting? So if I'm sitting drinking coffee, I look around, it makes me hyper aware of my circumstances, and it calms the waters because nothing else is going on. My mind isn't in some tizzy of what I need, want, or don't have. It is what I'm really experiencing. And what I'm experiencing is gratitude. Guess what? I'm healthy. I can see, I can hear, I can taste, right? I can feel. And even if we don't have all 5 of those, the fact that we have any of those, you know what I mean? It is amazing. If you think of the world on the big spectrum, when you think of like black holes, and you think of like just nuclear science and just stuff that's out there, planets that orbit, just the absolute unlimited resources and craziness of this huge universe. It lets us see things in a different perspective, right? Oftentimes what I'll do that makes me in a really good mood and is calming is I'll think of the animal kingdom. Like, look at all these, who decided? I mean, I wish I was a sketch artist making up the animals of the planet. A hippopotamus. Oh yeah, platypus is a good idea. Oh yeah, what is this, an alligator? Where should we put them? Down in Florida? Should it go in people's swimming pools and eat the random dog? Or, like all these crazy animals. And I think of that is what is amazing. I'm amazed by the universe and the world and the things available to us. So then, after I have a pause and I assess, what do I want to do and reach for that's going to make me calm? Mind, body, spirit. What am I watching and thinking and ingesting on TV, on social media? Are they things that make me feel good and make me feel calm? I always reach for like really chill music and those certain, like jazz. And yesterday I was listening to Cat Stevens. All of the things that are soothing. I feel like music is one of the first rescuers from that, right? It can really make us feel cheerful. Something pop and happy, Justin Timberlake, something of that. Looking at pictures of the innocence of, like babies that like smile and are taking their first steps on social media crack me up because they look like little weeble wobbles, like they're going to take a nosedive, and the parents are all like jazzed out of their minds. I love stuff like that. It's the simple things that help us do this, but we do need to pause and assess, how am I feeling? Do I want to believe that thought? That thought isn't going to help me feel good and calm, so I'm not going to do that. Watching something super scary isn't going to make me sleep at night. I'm not going to watch that. Watching stand-up comedy and laughing is going to raise my vibration, whatever it is. Okay, and here's the big one, and something that I have to do too. If there is something pressing on you, make that be the first thing you do in the day. You know what I mean? If you have a difficult email, a difficult call, something that you don't want to do and you put it off, it will keep showing back up in your mindscape and keep pinching and bothering you. So do it first. The rest of the day will seem like a cakewalk. If you have to have that talk with your parent, listen, I don't really want to go to this university, I want to do that, and it just keeps nagging at you, do it. Get it on the table, and then you will feel calm, right? We are not doing avoidant tendencies or running away. We are facing whatever we need to head on so we can calm the waters and make our next clear decision with clarity and simplicity. And again, sometimes we just need to slow down. I don't know what the big hurry is. People think, again, and this also, no lengthy explanations to anybody about anything. I'm going to the beach, I'm going for a walk, bye, see you when I get back. Not why you're doing it, not where, not what beach, not all of that. You're just doing it for you. You don't need to over explain why you want this in your life, why you're doing that. Also assess the people that you find yourself over explaining or feeling like you owe an explanation to. Those people usually are gaslighters. They are people that, try to control. So really look around you and say, what people are always asking a ton of questions that are bothersome? You don't need to answer to them. You're going to pause and say, oh, bye-bye, you do not need it. You owe no one an explanation of why you want to do anything ever. You just don't. And it took me a while to realize that. I mean, I used to be an explainer with my family, or I'd have certain people I'd work with, and they were just gaslighters and huge question askers, and it's a pattern we fall into until we recognize it, and we're like, oh, I don't know those people, an explanation, bye. And you're going to feel calm and free and wistful. You're under no obligation to do this. How are they contributing to your life? That's what the question I want you guys to ask. How are the people you're spending time with, how do they contribute to your life? And if they don't give you a 5-star feeling, then it's time to reevaluate and pause, and maybe you should limit some time with them, because sometimes we just allow people in, we forget that they're there, and they create a certain kind of energy in our life. And this is, I really want less drama, more calm, and people that support and love me unconditionally. And that's what you'll bring in, because that is the vibe you're setting out for yourself. Love that for you, group 3. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm so excited. I wasn't even going to do a larger read today, and then I just felt inspired because the energy is really good. So welcome, and comment down below if you chose this and you feel this, that you need this, like I do too. We live in families, we live in communities, and sometimes people don't always get in that boat and row in the same direction. Sometimes they drill holes in the boat. Sometimes they try to row in the other direction. We never know what is going to happen, but we can decide how we're going to let it affect us. And we need a healthy detachment from those moments that aren't uplifting. We just go, not to do with me, thank you, and close the door on it. So you guys, I'd love for you also to come over to over on IG and see my 3 specials that I'm running. I am running 3 spreads. One is for mental clarity and wellness. wellness, one is for your spiritual journey, and one is for a soulmate spread. And I like to do them. I mean, they're only $25 and they're 20 to 30 minute reads, and they just help us, it's just all gridded out for you, so you don't have to overthink your questions or anything. And I like to run those. And I want to thank everybody that participates in them too. You guys are the absolute best. Remember, pause, assess, and then, aim your arrow in the direction that helps you. You are under no obligation to upset yourself to make other people feel better at any time ever. You are of high worth and value, and you're going to bust any of those dysfunctional patterns, because now is the time. Love and light.